Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Back to Warcraft 3 for no training nor hiring units. Now we reached level 4, which is just defeat Sylvanas once again. Yeah, and that campaign real life Sylvanas in this one. Well, it was mostly a puzzle. It wasn't really that challenging. The attack wasn't as punishing as in level 3, but I did need it to figure out what am I actually gonna use. Now the first thing I had to figure out is where they actually attack from, so I can pretty much fortify the defenses there. And obviously the second thing I had to realize how to win. Now, if you don't know this mission, there are several islands where the enemies are, which is kinda connected with waypoints, but the waypoints are heavily guarded, so it's not really a good idea to go through, especially that I have to defeat a base, which I do not care about at the beginning since that base actually doesn't attack, only fortifies itself. There are two bases that attack me, the dark blue and the teal. And that's the two bases I wanna destroy, especially the dark blue one because that one always keeps sending ground units while the teal mostly sends air units. Well, now we unlock the new units called Kirpin, which is my favorite undead units. Now they only have one ability in Reign of Chaos, which is Web, but as you can see, Web can put any air units to the ground, which means my melee can hit it, and also any air units that went to the ground by Web also make them immovable so they can't even escape. That's just such an amazing ability, since my hero is my best damage dealer outside of the tower, and since he can only hit ground unit, Cryptfiends really helps on this mission, especially how many air units they send on this mission to attack. Now it actually took a lot of retries to actually figure out how to build my towers because it wasn't that simple and which trees do I want to actually cut out for place. And once I managed to figure out, it was time to actually find a way to attack. Now there was a really close island to my base, which I quickly destroyed the tree around the edges so I can place a tower there later on to, spread the creep. Now this island is kinda important. Neither of the bases are there, but there is all the wait gates, all three of them that connects to the one of their bases. The dark blue one, the teal one, and the third one, which is I do not care because it's just AFKs. Once I built up my defenses and I learned how the attack patterns work, it was time to actually try to win the game. Now the first thing I really needed to do is send my meat wagons, but not really to do anything as a fight other than removing 1-2 towers, but mostly to remove the trees. I have a plan. There is a waypoint around the trees, the dark blue one, which is the base I really wanna destroy first because they send the strongest ways to attack me with heroes, Sylvanas. So my plan was pretty simple. Since going into the waypoint is pretty much a suicide, since it's heavily guarded, what if I just bring them back throughout the waypoint? Yeah, that sounded good, so I just built around so many towers that whenever they enter the waypoint, they just get annihilated. Now for you it might look pretty simple, but for me it was actually took a lot of retries because the airborne attacks came from that way, which a lot of time just destroyed my planning, so I did have to save a lot and retry a lot, but once I was finished, it was time to attack Sylvanas. Now once the tower at the edge finally completed, I ordered him to attack the tower, which made the Sylvanas guards to actually come through the waypoints to defend the tower, and welcome to the meat grinder. And it worked perfectly. Any other guard that was around the waypoint, I pulled them back to the meat grinder. I mean, yeah, my goose needs to eat, so yeah, I kinda need more humans in the meat grinder, so of course I'm pulling them back. But the attack has started. Every unit I seen, I just pulled it back to the meat grinder, and slowly but surely, I started raising the buildings. Now I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty slow after all. I don't really have any units other than 3 Cryptfiends, 2 Necromancer Hero, and the meat wagon. And I mean the meat wagon was really wanted to die because since once it starts to attack a building, the AI is just force every unit on him to kill him. Because for some reason AI does not like siege damage on buildings and it fully focuses everything to kill that siege unit. Now also it doesn't mean the teal won't attack me. Of course it will sometimes attack me, but I mean with my mean grinder it was no problem. While I was removing the wrong type of people and repopulizing with the right type of people, I kinda lost my base. I had no chance to defending and I didn't actually build defenses in the base itself. I could not really do it since, you know, that's a lot of money entry and yeah, I kinda need it for the attack. And also I could not pull my units back to defend because that's enough time for dark green to actually rebuild the place, so I just had to sacrifice my base, which was fine. I mean, we just repopulized a new base, so it's okay. At least dark green is finally dead. Now without green, the only threat that left was steel, and I actually don't know why I didn't just use the same strategy by going through the gateway and pulling them back, but I decided I'd just make a home on the edges of the island of Teal and start building there and invade them from that side. Once the creep was ready, it was time to attack. And to be honest, it was way harder than it's supposed to be. I really don't know why I didn't attack from the vacate and did the same trick that I did against Dark Green. I guess I was just stupid, but yeah, it was really hard to actually get there because there were so many guards, but I still pulled them back to the meat grinder, especially the airborne ones, so their numbers still got thinned down to actually start attacking again and build towers there. And hold and behold, now defenses were actually not as strong as before. And you know, you get the point. I just slowly started pushing and playing carefully most of the time, so none of my units actually die while I'm building the towers and slowly pushing. I'm not gonna show you the whole place because just defeating a base probably took me 20 minutes of how slow it is, because when they build a unit I'm pretty much killing a unit with the amount of unit I have. I'm not really doing fast killing, but with some Wiedmegan strategy with the Zeppelin, picking them up all the time when they aggro, since, you know, once again, siege damage doing structure, the AI really likes to target them. I just slowly but surely pushing. And my mini grinder might be getting destroyed, but still enough for him to hold enough that I can actually defeat Teal. And now that green and Teal being destroyed, all that left is just grab the scrap around the island. I explored for items, defeated the third beast, which was pretty easy since they never attacked, so I just took it slow and surely I defeated them. And after that, all that left is just to finish the mission. And the level 5 is the last fight against Sylvanas, the last stand, and you are probably as tired of Sylvanas as I am, because I mean, come on. All their minority propaganda is already boring, I don't wanna hear it. But this map actually changed in the Reforged, so I don't really know anything what to do here, because whenever I played Warcraft it was the classic version. But the main important part was the same. There was a south village that kept sending runners to the north one, and if that runner makes it to the north one, the north village will start attacking me pretty strongly, so I really didn't want that to happen. Why I somehow figured out how to defeat south. Why that's happening, Sylvanas keeps attacking me, and obviously I need to defend it, but to be honest, it's just Sylvanas, who cares about that, we just defend it. Now we get 4 gargoyles, which, to be honest, pretty unhelpful in this mission, because almost there are no airborne units, and gargoyles pretty much just the anti-air unit. The anti-ground attack is pretty weak for gargoyles, so I mean, thanks for giving this to me, but I wouldn't say it's useful. Now getting to the south village, somehow it took me way longer than it needed to be. It's mostly because they kept attacking, but I didn't wanna build defenses in my own town, because I just wanted to attack and finish this mission quickly. Although that was a mistake, and later on I realized I should probably build some defenses before I fully commit to destroy the south base. Now finally destroying the south base, I explored what's on north of the map, and Sylvanas just came out to defend the gate of Silvermoon. And she just stood there, did nothing. She just standing there doing nothing and just stopped attacking. Yeah, I probably should have done that first. I didn't know you can stop her by attacking, just moving up north a little bit. Yeah, oops. But after that, we just nuked Sylvanas with some towers, and the mission kind of became a no-build mission because all I had to do is just go through Silvermoon, kill every enemy on the way, and that was it. I mean, yeah, I could build unit, but I mean, that's the challenge, to not build units, so pretty much became a no-build mission because they just didn't attack, and slowly but surely I just kept pushing forward. But with that, we finally defeated the elves, and the minority is finally out in our country. Now level 6 was no joke, because I was up against 4 bases, and all 4 bases had a gimmick. For example, the red base can make red dragons that are spell immune. The teal one can make sappers that just explode and destroy all my towers in one shot. The brown can make ogres that cast bloodlust. It was brutal. But the worst part was my ghoul count. I only had 2. I had almost no lumber income throughout the entire mission. All I pretty much could do is just build towers to defense, but I could not build for defense. I had to deal with them with my own units. But all of the bases are really strong. Now I did get a new unit called Frostworm, which is a really powerful, probably the most powerful unit in the entire game. It's really good, and this is pretty much the only time I'm actually getting one, and yeah, I only have one. And for real, boys. This mission took a while, because every orc base was pretty tough, especially the red ones, since the red dragons are really strong. I'm not joking, they are no joke. And I realized my best strategy is probably immediately attack one of the bases, which was brown because it was actually next to my base, meaning I can technically pull them back to my towers. And with that I actually managed to take out brown before they could actually do anything important. I mean, they weren't the most dangerous one because yeah, Bloodlust is an amazing spell, one of the greatest spells in the entire game. But, I mean, it's not a sapper which explodes all my tower, which is still dangerous. And let's not talk about, once again, the red dragons. Now this mission was all about the attack waves, to how to handle them. I luckily got a shade, which I can use, and I did use a lot, because if an attack comes when I'm unprepared like these red dragons here, I'm just screwed. There is no way I can defend it, especially if it's not 1 but 2 bases attack at the same time. And once again, I know I already told you a millions of times, but red dragons are no joke. Now my next target was teal, and that's the only reason is because sappers. And if you want to know what sappers do, here you go. Goodbye towers, I guess. At least it only hit 1, and yeah, that was pretty lucky, to be honest, that it was only 1, but there were moments when I had to restart because a sapper just exploded 4 of my towers. So yeah, that was definitely my next target. So once the attack descent was finished, it was time to eradicate the teals, because goddamn I don't want to deal with sappers. And it did take me a tons of retry because counter attack is a no joke, but luckily we have shade, which pretty much just tells me which camp will attack me, so I put it in teal, and whenever I see teal moves on the map, thanks to the shade, I know which side I'm supposed to defend. And if I know which side I'm supposed to defend, it's so much easier to defend. Like, look at it, they literally did nothing, and that's what I need, because once again, the whole mission was, the point is if I'm in the wrong position when they attack, I just lose half of my base. And again, I do not have any goals to gain lumber, so I do not wish to lose even one single building. Teal was definitely the one that took me the most tries to actually destroy, because I got always counterattacked and it was so rough to defend and also attack at the same time, because if I go back to defend my base, I already lost my base, like half of my base at least, and Teal will really fast rebuild everything. I cannot stop fighting if I'm being attacked. I just have to somehow defend and attack at the same time. But I cannot leave any units there because I need every unit to attack. But once actually everything went the way I kinda wanted to go, we managed to destroy Teal. It was so rough, like, I'm not joking. This took me at least several hours to actually get into Teal and destroy, because Teal defenses was really strong as well, and sometimes they managed to kill 1, 2 or even 3 of my units, which I just simply cannot lose, because orange and red is even stronger than this guy. And if I lose my units now, I have no way I'm gonna defeat orange or red. And yeah, here you go, that's what I'm saying. Orange attacked me while I was destroying Teal. Luckily I already kind of finished with Teal. And I managed to defend against orange, but they just destroy half of my base under a couple of seconds. And once again, I do not have that much lumber to just easily rebuild. Losing buildings is just not good for me on this mission. But I just have to take it, because Teal was finally dead, and sure as hell I'm not gonna try this again. Now, did I say Teal took me the most time? Now say hi to orange. This one at least took me 10 tries before I managed to do this base. Like, this one is so heavily guarded and so easily kills a unit. Their special unit is Warlock, which has a skill called Fireball, which deals tons of damage and also stuns. They can just pretty much fixate one of my units down, and I lose them and slowly but surely die. I did need it towers to this, because my unit is just not gonna be enough. It took me so many tries. My best strategy was for my Frostworm to actually tank, since they had raiders which pretty much have web to make them immobile and put them on the ground and make him tank as much as he can, and also my heroes, because I have no chance of losing unit. I had to play almost perfectly. I had to actually lock in to just get into this base, because it was so easy to die or to lose anything here. My gargoyles, I didn't even use them, because once again, if a Warlock just targets them, that one is dead. And I do need my gargoyle in this mission because of the red dragons, which is the red base, the last one. And my man, that base is also pretty rough, because at least 4 red dragon is defending that base. So I need every single gargoyle that I have that is alive, because I already lost one, for the dragons, because this mission was tough. Without almost no units, and without making sure I'm not losing a single unit, and also without lumber because I have only 2 ghouls, this mission took me so many retries. This was one of the most retried missions, for sure, but we managed to actually get orange once, thanks to Frostform and Arthas tanking. Although Arthas cannot heal himself, I know that, but he's still pretty tanky and does have health regeneration. Although one of my tries were a really stupid reason I had to restart, since I cannot lose Arthas, and he actually died to the pretty much thorns. And if you don't know, orc buildings have thorns for melee, so if a melee hits the building they also receive damage, and yeah, Arthas just killed himself on it. Oops. But orange is destroyed, and moving to the red base. Now, red base was definitely the strongest, but also in a way the easiest. The only reason is because all the other 3 bases are destroyed, so there will be no more counter-attack while I'm attacking, no more pushing me back because I do not have lumber, and every time I'm being attacked I'm losing buildings. All I had to do is wait for some lumber, build up some towers to ready to attack, and destroy red slowly but surely. Luckily we managed to first ride the red base, although we did lose unit, but the red base is the place where I can actually lose units, since, you know, this is pretty much the last fight I have to do. I mean, there is one more base, the dark blue, but once again it's like the previous mission, the elves, that they just stand there doing nothing, so even with 1 unit I kinda just win. But don't get me wrong, red base was strong, red dragons still strong, like they destroyed all my towers in almost in a second, but I still have to get pushing, like there was nothing else left, I just have to win. This mission was definitely the hardest mission throughout the entire Undead campaign. I mean, maybe not, maybe yes, you will judge that on the last mission when we reach it, but this mission was definitely hard. Now, was it harder than the human campaign last? Yes, definitely. It was so much harder. I mean, I'm gonna cut out so many retries, I'm gonna cut out so many suffering, and I'm gonna cut out the way I had to find solution, think about solution, because I was thinking a lot. This mission took a lot of time. And it's not justified the time that it will say on the score screen, because I had to restart the level really a lot of times. I mean, I did have Kel'Thuzad, a second hero, a Lich, which is probably a better hero than a Death Knight in my opinion, although for this challenge a Death Knight is better thanks to Death Coil, which is pretty much healing for undeads. But yeah, even with 2 heroes like them, this mission was a nightmare to finish. Now, let me say one thing about this mission. I don't want to do this ever again, this one sucks, and there is still harder missions for it, I know that, because the Orc campaign and the Night Elf campaign will be even worse. I'm not gonna tell you why, I'm not gonna even spoil anything, but this isn't even the hardest mission. This is just a really hard mission, but not even close to being the hardest mission. And I'm already struggling so much. And that's so cool. This is why I love doing challenges. I actually have to think, I actually have to play correctly. I like to lock in, although I didn't really play it well still. Hopefully I will play well later on the campaign when I am actually ending it, but this is what I love about challenges, that I actually have to do things and not just a left click on the enemy until they die. But once again, red base destroyed and moving to the next level. Well, and this mission happens. Do you remember how I don't like a left clicking as a mission? Well, welcome to that mission. I mean, this is a build mission, I guess, but it can easily be a no build mission, because all you do is just a left click throughout the whole map. Yeah, I will do return to this map later on and have to replay this map, because I will add an additional challenge on the next map, which makes this level kinda more difficult. But for now, yeah, we did it. Good job, me. And the last Undead campaign mission. This is a mission I have waited for so long, because this one was in my mind when I did this challenge. I really wanted to finish this level without actually making or training units, because this mission is really difficult even with training units. So obviously my main strategy was to figure out the attack pattern and build as much towers as I can to defend them. But a problem came. Well, not really. Kel'Thuzad sends help. After every X amount of time, it will send 3 Felstarkas and later on Infernals. and these units are just so OP, like I'm not joking. The Felstark is just literally mono burn to death any caster or hero, and Inferno is just the most OP shit in the game. Like, they can tank, they can do damage, they are like immortal units. This mission was a joke. I had no fun in it. I just didn't like this, how strong the demons are. And thus, a new rule came for this challenge because I did not accept this as the final mission for the Undead campaign. And this rule will continue on going throughout the entire campaign, and I will actually replace some missions with this new rule. And the new rule is simple. From now on, I can only use units that I start with. If I rescue any unit, or if a unit transforms, I am unable to use that unit anymore. If I find just random units throughout the campaign, I am unable to use that. The only units I can use is literally the ones that started with being my unit from the start of the mission, which was the Necromancer, 6 Cryptfiends and Kel'Thuzad. I cannot use any Felstarkers and I cannot use any Infernas in this mission because these units came later on for the mission. Now I purposefully let myself die to the final attack. I let Kel'Thuzad just die because I did not accept as a victory with demons. So I restarted the level. But with that I kind of figured out there is actually a defeat scene for this mission. That's new. I mean, pretty much nothing happened, they just killed Arthas, but hey, I guess the extra effort is something we can appreciate. And thus, the real challenge begins. Now I'm up against 3 human bases. The teal, the dark blue, and your Taco Bell shit color but that mixes with some blue. Now, 3 of these I usually attack separately and with different units. For example, Taco Bell Koro usually sends normal armies like Mortal, Knights, Riflemen, and usually heal. Now, Dark Blue is mostly sends flying like Griffin Riders, which is pretty annoying because Griffin Riders are pretty strong and deal tons of damage. And Teals, lastly, sends machines like siege tanks and gyrocopters, which deals amazing damage against buildings, which means they are really important to kill before they actually manage to reach buildings. Especially siege tanks. Siege tanks cannot attack normal units, only buildings, so they will straight go to my towers to destroy them. They are essential to be destroyed before they actually make it to my towers. Now every attack wave is getting stronger and stronger, since pretty much that's the whole point, survive 30 minutes, that it starts weak and gets stronger and stronger until you can survive the attacks. Now, as once again said, Taco Bell Koros will send heroes, casters, and pretty much good overall normal army to defend me. But the good thing, they usually attack one by one. When Taco Bell Koro attacks, usually you have a little break before Teal attacks with siege tanks or with gyrocopters, it's always separate. And once the Teal attacks, later on they will attack with Dark Blue, the Griffin Riders. Well, that happens until you reach a certain time. Now, Taco Bell Color still attacks with really good armies, but at 16-minute time, Dark Blue changed his attack pattern. He will actually attack right after Taco Bell, which is pretty annoying, but at least it's closer than the Teal. Now, why is this a problem? Well, because the next time they attack, they actually attack at the same time, and from that point on, they will keep attacking at the same time. And Dark Blue actually improved, because now they will send Knights, which is also a tier 3 unit and pretty powerful as well. While Teal keeps sending siege tanks that I need to stop, no matter what. Now, as said before, Teal is the most important one to be dealt with. Now, first thing first, I never built a single tower around them, because there is no reason to build towers, because they just destroy it. And weirdly enough, gold is an important resource here. So my trick was just to body block the siege tanks. Since they cannot actually attack my units, I just need to build a wall of spiders so they can actually go towards my building. And as long as they are body blocked, I can just simply kill them. It takes ages because they do have so much armor and health that it actually gonna be a problem because it takes so long to kill them that the next attack wave will approach on the opposite side and I somehow still need to make it there. Once you reach 20-minute mark of the mission, that's when it starts to get hard because Dark Blue will send knights, and not just that but also Tackle Bell Coral will also attack at the same time when Dark Blue attacks. So I have to actually defend 2 attacks at the same time with only 6 Crypt Fiends because Necromancers are so weak that it's obviously already died. And again, Kel'Thuzad does summon demons, but all I do them is just kill them whenever I can and whenever I feel time, and they will not help me at all. Now, yes, I do save a lot because once again I did need to restart a lot of the time because my man, the attack waves are brutal. And of course, whenever you finish the attack wave, you know that Teal is ready to just simply destroys you with siege tanks, so you have to prepare for that. Luckily, they will send gyrocopters on this one. But now I do have to face a new problem. Gold. My gold mine is actually running out and I don't really have that much gold. Now there is another gold mine on the map, but if I want to take it I also have to defend it from the attacks, which there is no way I have enough resources to defend it, or units or anything. So the new problem is, how do I get gold? Because I definitely need to build more towers because the last attack wave is gonna just simply kill me. And even if you think, oh, you already have so much towers and you have to survive for 7.5 minutes, no, this tower amount is not even enough to survive for 10 seconds on the last wave of attack. And once again, once you deal with Teal, be ready for the Dark Blue destroying almost half of your towers at the north, and also Tackle Bell to also attack at the same time. As I said before, from now on Dark Blue and Tackle Bell will attack at the same time, because, you know, that's how the mission gets hard. And don't get me wrong, they also sent Hero, and that Hero really likes to blizzard my towers for sure, so I'm obviously focusing it down because that will just... I can't lose more towers. Yes, I cannot lose units, but at least the units I can heal with Arthas. With towers, I cannot heal them. I can only rebuild them or repair them, which both of them cost gold, which I already said, I do not have a gold mine anymore. Which means the gold I have now is all the gold I have. Now if you remember, I told you how long it takes me to kill siege tank because they have so much armor and health. And here is the problem. From now on it takes so much time to kill them that the Dark Blue actually attacks. And I cannot leave the siege tanks because even one siege tank can destroy my entire base, but at the same time Dark Blue also destroys my entire base. You can see how weak towers are in this game. Just couple of units and almost lost all my towers. And the problem is I have no more gold, so I cannot rebuild them, nor repair them, nor I'm able to actually gain any way gold, because once again, if I try to get the gold mine, Taco Bell will just gonna kill me there, since that's where he attacks from. This is where the real challenge starts for this mission. I didn't notice how hard this part was in the previous one because already I had 4 Infernals and 9 Fellstalkers that just swooped the entire mission pretty easily. But here I have to deal with it with 6 Crypt Fiends and a hero and a couple of towers. Now keep in mind, this is not the last attack yet. After this, what's coming will be the last attack. So this isn't even the worst part, and I already lost pretty much all of my towers to Dark Blue and to Taco Bell. This was the crucial part of the mission, that I have to somehow salvage this to actually manage to finish this mission. Because once I defeated Taco Bell, there was no turning back, there was no more gold left. This is what I have left to defeat somehow the last wave. I mean, not really defeat, but to survive it long enough so Kel'Thuzad does not die. I have to survive it for 90 seconds. 90 seconds sounds really low amount of number, but as I said, they can destroy the base under 10 seconds. And they don't have to destroy all my building, they only have to kill Kel'Thuzad. And yeah, even if you destroy the base under 10 seconds, you can guarantee the Kel'Thuzad won't even survive for 1 second. I did my best obviously, but you can see this attack is ridiculously hard. And they obviously straight went to Kel'Thuzad because that's how they programmed to, and just nuked it down to death. And there was still 20 seconds that I need to survive. So I went back to the previous save where I messed up the siege time because Dark Blue killed my base. Now I had a play, but most of the time I just had to play better, but my plan still was important. First part of the plan, instead of building more towers, I actually built 2 necropolis in front of Kel'Thuzad. Not because they attack or anything, I'm not gonna upgrade them up, but they have the most health as a building and they can actually buy me way more time. Now the other thing I did was actually destroy all my buildings in the base, because I do not use them anymore and I do need gold. And undeads have an ability called Unsummon, which just destroy the building and you get the resources of the building. Not all of it, but like 75 to 50%, I don't remember. And the third and last part, which wasn't as much of a plan but still important, is to send in my ghouls into fight, because I do not care them if they die. I rather let them die than the Crypt Fiends, because Crypt Fiends are really important. In the last attempt I actually lost one to the Dark Blue before the last wave actually happened. This went well, I lost way less tower and I still had gold to repair. And also obviously I still managed to build 2 necropolis, which is an extra X amount of time against the last wave to survive. Now it's time to survive the last wave. All I have to do is make sure Kel'Thuzad survives 90 seconds, no matter the cost. My greatest problem was Dark Blue, for sure, because they were attacking from west and east. I had some goblin mines, I actually placed them on the west side, so they will actually take them damage, and then went to protect the west side, because on the east side I have enough towers to stall them. All I have to do is make sure the west side of the Dark Blue that attacked aggroes my units. So once they aggro me, I can in a way move them to my towers on the east, or just kite them long enough so I can make sure Kel'Thuzad survives 90 seconds. I lost so much. All my beautiful Crypt Fiends, my babies died, and also my hero was pretty much dead. But it managed to kite it long enough, and I managed to actually survive just so much that Kel'Thuzad survives. The 2 necropolis tanked the last amount of humans that tried to attack Kel'Thuzad, and the level was finished just in the nick of time. Thanks to Arthas kiting them around, thanks to the towers on the east, and thanks to the goblin landmines on the west side. Everything worked out, and the Undead campaign has been completed. And now to the Orc campaign, which is way worse.